Smartphones, always to hand and always connected. Email, social media, games, news, health, markets, sport, technology, more games, texting, music, photos, weather. It's information overload. But many people are ditching their smartphones in favour of a simpler handset. In 2015, an estimated 44 million so-called basic phones were sold, accounting for 2% of the mobile market. That may not sound like a lot, but it's still worth nearly $7 billion. Leading the charge for change is Swiss-based Punkt, whose CEO hopes that their device can help cut through the clutter of the modern world.
It's not always good to be always online and always been in the world of notifications.
Punkt's stripped-back phone does have a calendar, contacts book and alarm, but at its heart, it's a phone.
It's all about taking back the conversation. This whole element of no one really knows how to talk any longer.
I've brought along my BlackBerry and also my iPhone. There are features of these two devices that I use every day. How can people cope with just that?
Well, that's exactly the point, isn't it? I think these smartphones are more computers that you can also talk from. And the less it is built to having a conversation with, for instance, I myself am a user of a smartphone and such a phone. And so I wouldn't give up my smartphone, but I just got more help from this to cut it out more often.
And taking that step back seems to be getting the phone noticed. Sold out within weeks of its launch, it has the backing of Design magazine wallpaper.
I think more and more people want simplicity in their daily lives, and design is a great tool to achieve this simplicity, because the work of designers is basically making our lives easier and creating objects that are pleasant to use, pleasant to have around.
With Nokia announcing this week that it may start making phones again, it looks like simple as well as smart may be here to stay. Nina Dos Santos, CNN Money, London.
Samsung is the #1 smartphone maker in the world. Yep, they sell more phones than Apple. Now Samsung is hoping to make a splash with the latest versions of their flagship Galaxy phones, the S7 and the S7 Edge. Samsung says these latest models can last 30 minutes in up to 5 feet of water and live to talk about it. We came to Chelsea Piers in Connecticut to see just how wet they can get. Samsung's been losing ground, especially to Chinese smartphone makers like Huawei, Xiaomi, and Lenovo with their less expensive phones. Apple's the company with a reputation for pricey products, but the S7 will cost you $670, the Edge $780, slightly more expensive than the iPhones. Mom, can you hear me now? Critics say one of the reasons Samsung lost market share with the last generation of these phones is that while the look and feel improved, it came at a cost. Battery life actually got worse, and they removed the ability to add more memory. Now extra memory is back, and battery life has improved more than 15% on the S7 and almost 30% on the Edge. And even though the limit is 5 feet, I'm going to push it past 7. Well, I was in the water a long time and the phone is still working, but to stay competitive, Samsung is trying to make all of its phones more similar to cut costs, and they're going to be releasing phones more frequently to try and get you to upgrade more often. But with all that competition from China and even Apple forecasting revenue declines, Samsung faces tough waters ahead.